Now, Stevie, when that happened, I love that. Players having fun. You know, that's a good sign that everything's good in the locker room, in the huddle. Things getting better. Everything's back on track. Of course, at Texas, you could win by a point, and you think the sky is falling. One of those programs. But have you been working on that dance? I challenged you over Instagram yesterday.
No, I did not work on that dance. I can put one together, though, for him.
Hell, I may pull a hamstring while we're working on it, trying to practice it. We're going to talk about the Horns as they continue this November to remember, and we've got bottles on the field again, people running all over the field, and upsets, and we're going to find out who is actually in that top 10 of ours, which, to be honest with you, Stevie, it parallels the college football playoff. Poll. I'm just going to say, we're going to have some fun, and we're going to find out what is the biggest story in college football. Who is the biggest story in college football so far? Let's go, man. You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's ride.
Helping us out. Jade Barron for Thorpe. I'm calling it right now.
Jade Barron for the Thorpe Award, the best DB in the country. Texas has had a few of them. That was Andrew Makuba, the pride of VLBJ High School, transferable by way of Clemson University. He's a big part of that secondary at Texas, but the 2-5-1-2 boys. There's quite a few of them on this team, but I love that. Campaigning for your own secondary teammate.
Yep.
What's your thoughts? I mean, at this point of the season, we're on the final stretch of the regular season. I think Jade has done enough to claim his significance, or actually may be the front runner for the Thorpe. Would you agree?
Yeah, I will agree. Yeah, for sure. I haven't seen everybody in college football, right? So, I mean, I've been focusing in on Texas football and a little bit of around the SEC. But no, he's playing phenomenal football, man.
He's lights out. You know, every I didn't go to this game against Florida. I had to sit this one out. Sold my tickets. But I will say, every team that we faced, and when I've been in maybe conversations, work-wise, business-wise, who are fans of college football, the first thing that people always say, damn, that secondary of Texas and that defense is legit.
Yep.
Not verbatim, but it's along the same lines. And I'm like, really? Tell me more. You got it when you hear it from outsiders or even at the games with the visiting fans. They talk about that Texas defense. Even the Georgia fans who sat around me was like, wow, that is a SEC-built type of defense.
No question.
All right, my friend. We're already at episode 424. I am Sean Clinch, the host of Stories Inside the Man Cave. That is Stevie Lee, the namesake of this series of pods. Be sure to like, follow all of our social media platforms. They're all right there. And I know the joke continues. I'm inching ever close. I thought about it today, but I didn't. We're going to have that TikTok updated pretty soon. But none of this, my friend, would be possible without all of our sponsors, but particularly for this one, our family from Hargrove Roofing. Stevie can tell their story the best.
Hargrove Roofing. Know who's on your roof.
And they really are incredible people.
And good people out of Shreveport, Louisiana, good friends. Started a roofing company in Shreveport, moved over into East Texas, went into Dallas, wanted to come into Austin, and contacted me to help with some marketing things. And it's been a family ever since, man. So those guys are awesome.
Yeah, they are, and they've been good to me, thanks to you.
Yeah.
But it didn't just for you, but Coach Ab, call Coach Ab.
Yeah.
Because we live in an area in the central, let's just say all of Texas, but here in the central Texas area, we live in an area of somewhat some weather extremes, and that wreaks havoc on your roof, especially those large hailstones.
Yep.
Oh, man. Don't overlook it. Contact Hargrove Roofing. Ask for Coach, Scott Abernathy, coach at off of their Hargrove offices off of Ashdale, and they'll lead you the right direction. I had to use them myself, and I was nervous because it was my late mother's home, and I had checked the roof, and they looked at it. Coach looked at it again. That's the same type of attention you'll get from them, and they work with the insurance. I tell you, trust me on that. They hustle for you on the insurance part. So this was Texas. Here's some just key stats. They chopped those Gators, or Bebo gored them, 49-17. Florida was shorthanded. They're down to the third string quarterback. But Texas handled business. The freshman running back, you never know who's going to lead the way. Everyone's contributing, 100 yards rushing. And then you got Quinn Ewers, who we'll talk about a little bit later. I think that's a career best, 5 touchdowns. And look, Trey Moore, who transferred from UTSA, he got some significant reps, not reps, but really showed up on the stats. Mm-hmm. He's been contributing. But look at that, 2 tackles for losses.
Yeah. No, defense, and I love what the defense did. I think we did everything we wanted to do, man, except, we punt. What did we punt? 2 times this game? And we had a missed field goal. Those are just the only negatives that we need to clean up. But, man, dude, it was – I predicted this. I don't know if you remember. I just knew we were going to be on fire against them. We had something to prove. And Florida was just the next team in the way.
They came off of a bye week, and that is, the good thing about the SEC, and I know a lot of other conferences do this. Some of them get 2 bye weeks, and ask any coach in America, they're going to tell you, "Oh, this is a great time for a bye week." But most coaches don't want bye weeks because they want to keep playing. But the players will be the first to tell you they want a break.
Yeah.
But absolutely. I think everybody wanted this to get healed up and get the mental part is so huge. But, when you played for Mac Brown, November is huge. It is. You could do all that work. You could have beaten Oklahoma, could have beaten all the teams that you did. But November is, in my opinion, I would say every team is dangerous.
Every team is dangerous? In November, we're typically – beginning of November, we're probably playing like OSU, and OSU either at home or there always gave us problems. We always had to come from behind to beat OSU. November was also Texas Tech. It's scary playing Texas Tech at night. And then also we had A&M as well in November. So man, it was some tough stretches down in November, man. Whenever I played. But, my senior year, we went – after the OU game, we went undefeated after that. So
almost always.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Texas had 1,000 yards of offense against Florida. Gave up 329. The one that was glaring was Texas gave up 197 yards rushing. I mean, come on. This is still – regardless of Florida's mediocre, they've got dudes. And they're an SEC program with history. But I think more or less when you come off of a bye week, and there was some things that Texas, Sark and the players had mentioned it last week, that even going into the bye week, what they wanted to accomplish. But the biggest thing that you worry about, even as a fan or a perspective, how does that translate what you worked on in the bye week, all those 2 weeks, how does that translate to a game? And Sark responded to that exact question after the 49-17 win over Florida.
We were having fun on the practice field. We were working, we were running, we were competing with one another. Today, what I felt like we looked really fast. We looked like a fast football team. We looked like a team that's very dangerous in the open field, that if we can make the first guy miss, it's probably going to be an explosive. And I think that's what showed up, and it showed up from multiple players today, and that was the beauty. We weren't relying on one guy.
But you have a healthier team, Stevie. For those who may not understand, I mean, anybody could see when you play fast. You correct me if I'm wrong. When you play fast as a team, it seems to me there's less injuries and there's less mistakes.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is. That's just my perspective.
Yeah, I think you're out of your head and just playing football. And that's what that means really when you're playing fast. If you get the ball in your hand, you just go, and you don't think about anything else but end zone. If you're on defense, you see ball, you go get ball. You just play fast, and get everything else out of your head and just play football. Those are the most fun times on the football field, man.
And that's a good quality trait to have, to be that relaxed. Because up here, the mental part, what's between our ears, in anything we do performance-wise, which has a plan, if you don't execute it and you're thinking too much, you're not playing fast.
I tell my wife all the time, man. I say, get out of your head. It's scary in there.
I love that. Man, I love that. So one direct result of playing fast, I mean, here's the thing. Sark and that staff are always trying to create new wrinkles, create new opportunities, and design plays if they have the personnel and if the mental part is not overwhelming for all of them. But this play right here, I mean, I was in awe of it. It looked like the modern day wishbone. And to me, you have to have a great offensive line to do this.
And now they go end around with Bond. Isaiah Bond, the end around, and look at Bond turning it on, and a stiff arm for extra yardage.
This is just an insane amount of misdirection. You're faking a reverse. You're faking a handoff.
Before we hear from Sark on why they decided to do that, what was your impression of that, Stevie?
So sometimes I watch football on a different level, and that was a great play call at the right time. Also, and you're right, the O-line had to hold up to let the play develop in the backfield. But what I mainly saw, and I don't know why this caught my eye so much, was Quinn. Quinn had to know every single step.
Everything.
That was a dance that he did. He caught the ball, had to look left, look right, look in front of him, and spin around to toss the ball to Bond. And if he doesn't do it correctly, the whole play can be blown up. So hats off to him for knowing his dance steps once he got the ball.
Well, that's my part, and we'll get to it, is what a lot of people overlook is Quinn's ability to execute those type of plays, because those types of plays are littered all over this offense.
Yeah.
Misdirection. You got to have the first best step. But Sark was like, why not? And this kind of gave us some insight on how and why they do what they do in that offensive game planning.
Sometimes it's throwing mud on a wall and seeing what sticks. And we ran it in practice, and we're like, wow, that looked way better than we probably thought it was going to work. And so, you run it, and there's a lot of, obviously, the ball handling kind of catches your eye, but there's a really critical block that Matthew Golden has to make on the front side just to get it started. And then anytime we can get that play in particular, but on all those plays, anytime we can get the ball in our playmakers' hands in space and allow them to do what they're best at, and that's run. Like, we can run, and when we can make a guy miss, or we can block on the perimeter, it happened numerous times today. We talked about Isaiah having a couple of those big plays, Silas Bolden on the perimeter, a couple things he did in the open field, Jaden Blue in the open field, Trey Wisner in the open field.
There's a lot of people involved.
Mm-hmm.
But you said this, and so many people have when they talk about and now analysis and breaking down film is worry about your assignment. Do your assignment great.
Do your job
and do it fast in a fast mindset.
Yep. That's exactly what you need to do, and that's what they did. Everybody had a job on that play, and you can see it work it out to perfection. Man, everyone had a job, and they did it. And I don't have any critique on that play at all. At all. I saw, at all, nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
No notes.
It was beautiful, and it's just there were so many people. The list, like DeAndre Moore had a couple of big drops, but other people picked him up, and they're showing the depth. But you talked about the execution, and before we get to some criticism, if you will, or feedback, this was Sark talking about where Quinn is now, because he was receiving criticism after that Vanderbilt win.
He really navigated the offense as much as it was just throwing the ball. I just felt like our rhythm, our tempo, the intent in which we were playing the game, the ball was going to the right guys on time. There were catchable balls where they could run with it.
So I hear it. Why is it because he's a starting quarterback at Texas, or the criticism constantly? Because I never see or hear someone praising Quinn all the time. It's always something. What is it about him? Because there's not many QBs who can execute like him, and I have finally accepted that.
I don't know, man. For me, Quinn is a great game manager. For me, man, and he does a really good job. Like, it's really hard to learn those steps for that one play that they're going to run in the game out of 70 plays that they run, like that's elite level type of quarterback. But when it comes to you want him to make a play for you or need him to make a play for you, I don't know if he's there with that. So that's my little criticism. That's it.
Well, that's consistent.
A consistent, sound quarterback, he's that all day. He's not going to do a sidearm like Mahomes and get it down the field or something like that. So that's a small criticism, and that doesn't make him a bad quarterback. That he's not going to make that big time play for you. It's just that his little bitty plays keeps him from having to go out there and make consistent big time plays for you.
But Jonte Cook's no longer a member of the Longhorns. He's gone. Mm-hmm. And when Sark was asked about that, he was very quick and diplomatic about it earlier this week.
Yeah, no, it was mutual between the two of us.
Okay. I think that's partially true. I don't know, man. I've heard 4 different things.
I haven't heard anything.
I heard, let's just say, punctuality hasn't been a strength
for him. Okay, I get that, but you can look and see, during the season right now, teams are recruiting, and if you know you're not going to be back next year, you need to jump in the recruiting pool right now. So if he doesn't know where he's going right now, he has to be recruited and kind of figure out where he needs to go. And they're recruiting kids out of high school right now, coming on recruiting visits, and so he needs to jump into that.
He will. He'll land somewhere. The beauty of the portal is, more often than not, that individual will be a better person and usually a better contributor where they go.
Yeah,
He's an uber talented guy from DeSoto, and
wish him well.
I do too. And young people make mistakes. Young people we all did. It just wasn't a good fit for him for some reason. But I respect Sark and that staff. Or, you know what? If you don't want to be here and you don't want to, I don't know. I'm just not going to go any further because I don't have it. It's all rumors. Mm-hmm. Who am I going to confirm it with?
Right.
People tell me stuff, but it's nothing illegal, nothing like that. But regardless, Jonte Cook or not, Stevie, part of one thing that everyone was excited about were going to the SEC were the old rivalries returning. That was my cell phone in 2021 at Razorback Stadium in Fayetteville. Great fans, great college football environment, but horrible, horrible place to be if you're wearing burnt orange and you're in the restroom by yourself.
What happened, man? What they do to you?
Well, the tailgating was fine. It was in the stadium. You know, I'm a grown man. I can handle my own. And I can go get a beer if I want to, and I go use the restroom. I have thick skin, but when you have a guy with right out of Central Casting for the stereotype of that area with a mullet talking all that shit, while I'm in midstream, and it's one of those guys. Anyway, they hate Texas, as Sark said it. They hate Texas more than they like themselves.
Yeah.
But it is a beautiful part of college football. It is a beautiful part of the country, too. I have amazing family there whom I sat with in 2021 who have been season tickets. Love them. Love the Rollins. They're fans. But they did tell me to wear a white shirt that day because it was alternating red-white, and I said, I am not. I'm wearing burnt orange. That's why I came here to see you guys and watch the Longhorns, and the Longhorns got destroyed. Arkansas, Texas. What does that mean to you being a former Longhorn?
Well, I think I told you guys that my only home game I lost in DKR Stadium was against the Razorbacks, against Arkansas and Houston Nutt and Matt Jones. Was it Matt Jones?
Matt Jones, big boy.
Yeah. Matt Jones running wasn't even on our scout report. And he ran all over us that day. But yeah, man. So that's I would have had a perfect record in DKR Stadium if that wouldn't have happened. And then we went up there the next year, and you're exactly right, man. It is a tough place to play. They are spitting fire when you walk off the bus, man. They don't like you. They don't like the sight of you. They don't even like burnt orange around them. No, up there. So this is, a great rivalry from what is the Southwestern Conference days.
Southwest Conference. I mean,
yeah, and
unreal.
Yeah, and so when we played each other, we still hated each other, but now we're in the same conference and we're going to play each other. I don't know how they're going to split it up, or we may keep it every year. I don't know. But it's a great rivalry that's picked back up, and they have not forgotten about it. We hadn't either. So it's fun for college football, but it's hell when you have to go up there and play, man. I hated it.
Especially if you're in Texas.
Yeah.
Fans, be on the defense. Look, watch your back. Hell, I had 2 beers thrown at me, and I was like, I had the last laugh. I said, man, you just threw a $9 beer at me in the plastic bottle.
Wow. Yeah.
I promise I was not instigating anything.
I'm sure you weren't, man. You're because you're a nice guy.
But I wasn't backing down, I'll tell you that.
I hear you, man.
It's funny, but you look at Arkansas, they're always very gritty group. There's a lot of Texans on those in their roster. They're 3-3 in the SEC and 5-4 overall. What do you tell Texas fans who think are going, maybe they don't know much about this rivalry, but what do you tell them about what to expect in this game? Because if Texas goes up there and blows them out, I would be shocked.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be shocked if Arkansas wins this game.
I hear you. What to expect when you go up there, man? I think Sark and the staff is going to do a really good job of getting them ready. What to expect is a rivalry game. It's going to feel like when you go to Dallas to
Right.
the Texas OU game. And anything can happen. You take your hits and you regroup and you go back out there and do your job, And we're going to hit them in the mouth. They're going to hit us in the mouth. But it's a rivalry game, and that's what happens in rivalry games. But it's not one of those neutral site rivalry games, So
you are not going to feel at home. I promise.
You're not going to feel at home at all. So I mean, Texas fans travel and they travel well, but they're going to be loud, obnoxious, and if you're traveling there, man, just be careful. Don't get into it with anybody. Let them say what they need to say because we live in a great state of Texas. It's Texas. They live in Arkansas, right? Most of us live in and around Austin, and then it's Fayetteville. It's a pretty part of the country, but it ain't nothing else to do there but be mad at Longhorns.
Actually, their airport, Northwest Arkansas Airport, is pretty nice. It's growing. Bentonville, Rogers, that whole area, stunning.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right. I guess you can call that right. The Ozarks adjacent, or is it the Ozarks?
It is the Ozarks. Yeah,
it's the Ozarks, and it's beautiful in the Ozarks, man. So, but I mean, we live in Austin, Texas. It's the Hill Country. You want the Ozarks or the Hill Country? I don't know.
But you got to play them there at night. This game will be at 11 a.m.
Yeah, it was different at night, man. It was because we had to sit around Fayetteville until the night game started. So,
could you feel the hatred before you got into the stadium?
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. But we were spitting fire from the year before as well because they beat us. Remember, they beat us in our own stadium.
Oh, I was
they
there.
They didn't leave our stadium either. Like we left the field. They were still out there celebrating, taking pictures.
I remember.
Horns down on our field, everything. They did not go back into the locker room for another 30, 45 minutes, man.
That's crazy.
That pissed us off.
So keep in mind, this Arkansas team did beat Tennessee, and that's their only loss of the season. I'm going to go ahead and say Texas wins by 6.
Oh, I hear you. I can't. This is going to be too close to call for me, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I think that we really have to be on top of it. I think we need to, stay on. Put this win behind us from Florida. And stay on these kids really hard this week because
be mentally
strong going into this game. Yeah, for sure.
Well, Stevie, and interact with us. We want to know what you had to say. Shoot, comment right now in these comments on this live stream, and jump on board at Stories Man Cave on Twitter. We'll have an Arkansas week. We may have an NFL Hall of Famer Razorback great on later this week, and maybe talk to a Horn or two who has experience who played the Razorbacks every year. And people don't remember this. Texas had 3 hated rivals in which those teams probably hated Texas more than Texas hated them. And that's OU, Arkansas, and Texas A&M, all in the same year.
And we got all of them in the same year this year. Yeah.
Yeah, here we go. We're back to the old days, and I love it.
Yep.
Big shout out to our guy, Taj Brooks, pride of Maynard, Texas. He last night in a loss. They honestly, man, they should have beaten Colorado. It was a great game. But regardless, Taj Brooks is now the rushing king career rushing king of Texas Tech. He unseated Byron Hanspard last night. He had 137 yards rushing. Colorado made it very difficult on him. Because he rushed the ball 31 times last night.
Wow. Hats off to him, man. So, yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So he's the all-time leading rusher.
In Texas Tech football history.
That's awesome. Good for him, man. But Texas Tech is not known for their rushing, but when they have a more balanced offense, they're dangerous.
Very dangerous.
They could have easily won that game last night.
They could have had it, but much respect. And he has over 1,100 yards this season, and I think he's had. So last season he had 1,500 yards rushing, and he's just a good person, and he's Stories Inside the Man Cave VIP alum. Shout out to Taj and the Brooks family. You guys are all amazing people, and to the Manor Mustang community, man, you raised and produced a good one, just a good human being as well. So Taj, man, you're in the history books. That's going to be a hard one for anyone to unseat him as the Russian King. All right, This weekend, man, we had upsets galore. Jesus, more people storming the field, and it wasn't. And Austin has started a trend. Let's start out. I want to start out with what happened. How about we go to Atlanta? Miami is no longer a member of the undefeated club.
A very high probability pathway to the ACC championship game and could very easily be a college football playoff team. But they absorbed their first loss of the season, and what a scene at Bobby Dodd. There go the goalposts. And you think the coach is enjoying this one?
So we have more people storming the field. I get that. Now I can justify that, Georgia Tech doing that against an undefeated Miami.
Yeah. In
my opinion, we'll get to it, Miami drops way down after that because they were a 4-loss Georgia Tech team. But you called it. Early in the year, you thought – because they played in Ireland, I think, back in August.
Mm-hmm.
Open. You saw something.
Yeah, when they played Florida State. Well, we now know Florida State is
Florida
just
State.
good.
Doo-doo.
Yeah. But, I thought that they had something going, and here they go. They upset Miami, man. And with all this new SEC talk and things like that, man, we started to forget about the ACC, But they got to fight over there for their ACC championship. So, it's going to be fun to watch. November is always fun for football, college football.
It really is.
Yeah.
And so Ole Miss, real quick. So Ole Miss throttled Arkansas in Fayetteville, put 60 on them, if I remember.
Yeah.
Then they host Georgia, who was leading the SEC. Well, with A&M. A&M's, with one loss. They shared one loss.
Right.
Alabama had beaten Georgia earlier in the year. Did you see that coming? That Ole Miss put it on them.
I did not see that coming, man. That was shocking to me, man.
Yes.
That was really shocking to me. And I don't know what's going on with Georgia, man. I feel like they put all their eggs in our basket and then forgot about college football.
28-10, bro.
Yeah. They come in our place, beat us and left emotionally on a high, and they haven't gotten off that high. They almost got beat by Florida the week after. They had a bye week, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And then they come out and then get beat by Ole Miss. It's not and I love the way Sark phased out the season, for phase 1 of the season, phase 2. It seems like Georgia was putting all their eggs in the Texas basket, come in and beat us by 2 touchdowns, 15 points, and then stank it up after that, So
Georgia,
I don't know what's going on with them. They're imploding, it seems like it.
Georgia has 59 yards rushing.
59 yards rushing.
It's Ole Miss.
Yeah.
All right.
So I don't know, man. I didn't like the way Kirby was talking after the game. He was talking real spicy, and I didn't like the way the SEC network was talking after our game. To keep saying "Welcome to the SEC, welcome to the SEC." Man, we lost one game in the SEC, and that's against Georgia. And so it's telling us welcome to the SEC, but take care of these. What about the other guys that are losing right now? So. Hopefully this right here keeps us motivated to just keep one loss on our schedule and just keep moving and win the SEC and tell them thank y'all for letting us in.
Yeah. Well, I had almost written off Ole Miss, but now they're back in it.
Yeah.
They're back in the playoff hunt. And this is how in Oxford, this is how they celebrated. You can predict it.
They're storming the field. The game's not over. The referee, Jeff Heeser, telling the fans to get off. Kirby Smart will not be vacationing in Oxford. Lane Kiffin not happy about this development.
Lane Kiffin's not happy about it because they're going to be fined significantly. These Storm rushing the field, I get it, celebration, but people remember, man, you get fined some pretty good chunk of change by the SEC for doing that. But Ole Miss, they're a good tackle football team, and they did it. Jackson Dart's hurt. He played in and out. I mean, they're a great quarterback.
Yeah. So there's somebody that we need to be looking at as well, man. So, anything can happen right now in the SEC. We don't know who's going to the SEC championship game.
No. And Texas, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I do know that we are on a collision course with A&M. Yeah.
Who had a bye. What I was not expecting, and I know you weren't either, is what Alabama did to LSU in Baton Rouge, 42-13.
Yeah.
42-13, and number 4 for Bama. Man, Milroe had a day.
Yeah. I didn't watch all the game. I saw a little bit of it. I had to network last night. Let's call it that. I really thought that LSU was going to give them a game. It's tough to play at LSU at night. Yeah. And they put the Tiger back in the stadium, and they were just all fired up. Game day was there. So I really thought that LSU was going to come out on fire, and it just wasn't. It just fell real short, man. The little bit of the game that I was watching, it felt like that they were just getting dominated by Arkansas.
You mean Alabama?
Alabama.
Yeah. Milroe had 185 yards rushing. That was very VY-esque.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So what happened in Austin apparently triggered looks like the LSU fans in Kirk Herbstreit. Shout out to he and his family for losing their beautiful golden retriever, Ben, who was undergoing cancer treatment, and it ultimately took his life. And then he brought Ben's son with him to the game day set. But listen to Herbstreit talking about this. The LSU fans, doesn't surprise me. They follow the lead of the Longhorn students.
Some idiots do this in Texas, and all of a sudden we see it popping up in college football. Enough's enough, clowns. Just, what are you doing?
Agreed. It's not the first bottle ever been thrown on the field here. I can promise you as a sideline guy. We're getting 80s there.
Yeah. This is just stupid.
Yeah. These are water bottles. Back in the day, they were other kind of bottles. But, yeah, now it's a copycat situation.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's generational. I don't know what it is, but we got to stop that, man. That's BS.
Yeah, it is. I think what they're going to do is stop serving bottles in the stadium and giving y'all water cups, So it sucks. Not supposed to do it. I mean, can't do it. And I hated that we did it in our stadium, and now we're getting blamed when everybody else does it.
Yep.
Even talked about it in the Texas Tech game when they were throwing stuff on the field or in the tortillas and things like that.
They've always done that, though.
They've always done that, but it's still our game came up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, while they were talking about throwing stuff on the field, and then that game came up for us. And honestly, we're not the first school to do that, right? But we're getting blamed for starting the trend. I think we're the school that just everyone loves to hate. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, there's no doubt of people hate Texas. There is no doubt about it.
Like Herbstreit, dude, Georgia has done that before. But
LSU, Baton Rouge, they used to throw glass bottles.
Yeah, everything. But now we're getting blamed to start this trend. It's stupid, but I hope everyone stops and just let the games be played. You should not be that mad to throw a $6 bottle of water onto a field, man.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So we got big old boy coming up here to say hi. Big boy. He's named after Vince Young, by the way. This is Vincent Royal.
Vincent Royal.
Come on,
Vince Young and Darryl Royal.
That's right. That's Vince VR.
VR.
So former Big 12 member BYU and Utah played last night. BYU has the pressure because every week gets more and more because they're undefeated. They were getting beat astoundingly defensively by Utah. I mean, Utah looked like the team that they were supposed to be this year.
Mm-hmm.
They were 4-4 going into that game, and I'm sure injuries were a part of it. Utah led BYU 24-10 at halftime, 24-10.
Mm-hmm.
BYU shut them out in the second half and scored the game 12 points. They ended up winning 22-21. However, Utah had their quarterback late in the game, bottled up in the end zone, which looked like that was going to seal the game. But there was a defensive holding call on the BYU receiver, or on the defensive back for Utah, which gave them, I think, a first down, but there was a call before it too. So they end up losing. It's a big rivalry. It was in Salt Lake, the biggest crowd in Bryce Eccles Stadium. Afterwards, the Utah AD, I'll wait for you to hear this before, and I want to get your opinion before I got a lot to say about this.
I've been an athletic director for 12 years. This game was absolutely stolen from us. We were excited about being in the Big 12, but tonight I am not. We won this game. Someone else stole it from us. Very disappointed. I will talk to the commissioner. This was not fair to our team. I'm disgusted by the professionalism of the officiating crew tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Even if you feel that way, you do not go in front of a camera and say it. Stevie, I hate saying what I'm about to say. Number one, that's very soft. That's very entitled. And it just really sides with the way some of members of our society are. We didn't lose. They took that from us.
Yeah, I see exactly what you're saying. I hear you.
Right.
But I'm going to disagree with you.
Okay. Okay.
The Big 12 has been bad
officiating
for a long time. And the back channels of the league all know this. And it had to be said at some point. Something has to give at the Big 12. We played in the Big 12 for years, y'all. And we know that they just had bad officiating.
Yeah.
Right? Am I right? Am I correct with that?
It wasn't consistent.
Which makes it bad. Bad officiating. If you're not consistent, if you're calling something on one team and not calling it on the other, and vice versa, then that's bad officiating. Right? You got to be even across the board. And I don't care if it's bad calls, but if you make a bad call, that we think this is a bad call, but you got to stay consistent with what you did and call it on the other team.
Right.
They never did that. So somebody had to say, and this has been going on for years. And all these coaches, all these commissioners or ADs, everyone knows this, and they talk about it when they get together for the Big 12 conference, the Big 12 football conference and things like that in the beginning of the season. They talk about all these things, and so somebody had to say it. And the new kid on the block said it. He said the quiet thing out loud. And something's got to give. They got to get these referees better at their job. So when we were the Big 12, we were bad with only 12 teams, and we went down to 10 teams. They got 14 teams now.
Yeah.
So the referee pool is even thinner. So that means the talent pool is even thinner.
Right.
So they had to go out and hire more referees from looks like Butch League. Little League, Butch League football from for coaching 12-year-olds now coming up here to to referee 12-year-olds now trying to referee grown men. You know, I watched the Texas Tech and
Colorado
game, and I was like, I had a revelation right then. I said, man, I'm so glad we're not in the Big 12 anymore because these referees suck. They're bad. And I'm not a part of the media, so I can say that because they suck, man, for real. And so all he did was say the quiet part out loud, and something's got to give.
Well, just came down. Listen to this. The email just came down from the Big 12 office.
Really?
Utah Athletic Director Mark Harlan has been reprimanded for his actions following the game. Additionally, he has been fined $40,000.
And every school is going to pitch in and help him pay that $40,000 because he said the quiet part out loud that needed to be said.
I hope that's the case, but have a private conversation because that just looks bad on a mic and a camera.
I hear you, man. I hear you, but the language of politics is dead. It's
we can
dead.
agree on that.
Yeah, the language of politics is dead. You know, when we were little, our politicians did not curse. They were seen in church and everything. And now we have a president-elect who doesn't care about the language of politics. The language of politics, the language of coaching is dead now. Yeah. You know, you can
But why? But why? This is post-game. That's just like Jerry Jones taking over after every game. I don't want to hear from the AD.
No, and that was my other question too. Why was the AD talking? I think that I think that the AD fell on the sword for his coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. He said, you know what? I don't need you going out there getting fined. Let me do it. Let me handle this.
I did not think about that.
Yeah, he fell on the sword for his coach. You know, it was a famous saying from a fine American, Cleve Bryant at the University of Texas. He said, you know, because we'll get as players, we would come out and we get bombarded by kids wanting autographs and things like that. But we're on a time schedule and we can't, you know, stop and talk to every kid. Well, Cleve would always tell us, he said, let me be the asshole. Let me be the asshole. So the AD walked over to his coaches and said, you guys, you got y'all, you know, I know how much I pay y'all, so y'all don't need this smoke. Let me be the asshole in this situation. And he got on the mic and he said the quiet part out loud. I actually applaud the guy for doing it because something's got to be done with the Big 12 and their officiating. We were screwed plenty of times in our own stadium.
I worked with the officiating crew from the Big 12 as a down box guy for a game.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen all of them, but I will say this: I am not defending officials at all, but it is a profession on the side that has, to your point you made, they're hurting for numbers.
Yeah,
because so many have quit because of parents in high school and youth sports are out of line, horrible people.
Yeah, and I get that part. I really do, but at this level,
not all people. I'm talking about some parents.
No, I get it. And I get that, but at this level, we got to do something to be better. You know, no one's going to be perfect. No, we're not asking anybody to be perfect, but you got to do better.
100%.
Yeah.
So after going down the list of the games, I think we hit all the upsets and all of the drama. Pay very close attention because there has been some significant movement post Week 11 in college football. So I kept BYU barely in.
Okay.
I put Ole Miss up, back. Alabama on top of Georgia. Alabama 6. Georgia falls from 2 to 7.
I like it. You don't think Georgia is out of the top 10 with 2 losses?
No. I mean, I think you get penalized more for getting your ass kicked. But I still think that they're a top 10 team. I mean, don't you? I mean, it's Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, then Penn State. Penn State 52-3. Or no, Notre Dame won 52-3. Tennessee made that big leap. 5. Indiana, not a lot of respect yet, but they're number 6. They're moving up. And then it goes Alabama, Georgia, Notre Dame, Ole Miss, BYU. Miami is the one I dropped from 4 to 12.
Mm-hmm.
You can't lose to a 4-loss team like that.
You can't. You're right.
And then on the outside, SMU. I had to, even though Boise won, that great running back, Ashton Junty, pulled BYU out of the 12. I mean, Boise State out of the 12 to the 4 on the outside. They barely beat they beat them, but not by a significant margin to Nevada, and then A&M and Clemson.
Yeah. Okay, I got it. Yeah,
you got it?
Yeah, I got you. You're good. You're good.
Before we hit the break, hold on. What's the best story of this college football season? Is it Army, SMU, Colorado, BYU, or somebody that I'm leaving off?
For me, it's SMU, man.
Okay.
It's SMU. Just raising all the money that they raised there and becoming a national powerhouse again. It's a beautiful campus right there in Dallas.
Stunning.
I really like the school, man. I really like what they're doing there. I like the program. When we played in the Cotton Bowl, we used their facilities to practice. And they were just the staff was nice there. And I like SMU, man. I think their story is awesome. But all these guys have really good stories. I mean, Army is doing phenomenal right now, you know?
West Point. So BYU, great. Colorado, everybody doubted primetime, but he's got them bowl eligible, and they're 7-2.
Mm-hmm.
SMU bought their way into the ACC. They're not going to have any revenue for 7 years, but I'm proud of them. I think it's a beautiful campus, and they're doing it. You like to see old historic winners back. But the thing about Army, which is beautiful, these are guys who are training to become officers in the United States military. They don't receive any NIL. Their day is regimented and hard. 99% of Americans could not hang with the types of days that they deal with in these service academies. I've seen the Air Force schedule up close and personal. Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs.
Mm-hmm.
No way most people could hack it. They would quit. There's no way. But so I'll say Army. I'll say Army, and you say SMU. All good stories. There's no wrong answers.
Yeah, exactly.
To the viewers, listeners, which one's your favorite? What's your best story? Stevie wants to know. So does his wife, Summer. They're curious what you think. Tweet us or comment right now on this beautiful Sunday night. Stevie, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to watch you act a little bit and promote our lovely, lovely Hargrove family. And you know what time it is? It's time for that big tournament, Texas high school football. We're going to reveal all who's in it from the ATX area after Stevie promotes and markets for Hargrove Roofing. We'll see you on the other side.
Today is going to be an exciting day at the Hargrove office as we bring in a local celebrity. Welcome the kicking phenom, Bert Auburn, conference champion of the Texas Longhorn football team, all-conference kicker. He's going to be our new spokesman. Bert's the best kicker in the conference. He plays for the Texas Longhorns. As you can see, Bert's awesome. Hey, Stevie.
Dude, you're really replacing me with a kicker?
No, not at all, man. Hey, guys, who wants a picture with Stevie? Anyone? Stevie almost won a Big 12 championship. Hargrove Roofing. Know who's on your roof.
"32 Austin area teams in the dance for the Texas high school football playoffs. The road to Arlington is phenomenal. I got to give a big bias shout out to those mighty, mighty Anderson Trojans. First time they've been in the postseason since 2016. But not only did they get in the postseason, they won 7 games this year.
That's good.
In a good district. Shout out to all you family. We had Ed Small on this year and his dad, good friend of ours, and Coach Hatcher. Get out and support the Trojans. Get out to support Westlake, Lake Travis, Vandergrift, Austin Travis, Lexington. Go by Snow's Barbecue. Support that community out there. And Manor New Tech. We got their second high school in the postseason. High school football playoffs. Nothing like it.
Yep.
And you could end up in Jerry World.
That's going to be fun.
Oh, buddy, speaking of Jerry World, as they played Eagles today, but they're going to go the rest of the season without Dak Prescott because he will have season-ending surgery, and that is tied to the injury to his hamstring, which is not on the bone.
Well, good luck to them. I think the way the season was going, go ahead and shut them down and get them healthy for next year. They really got to do some major roster moves.
Yes,
this next year, and they
We've
may
been saying that though.
They may gut the whole staff. In fact, because who's his head coach name? What's the head coach name?
McCarthy.
McCarthy. This is his last year on his contract anyway, right?
Yep. Well, I think you're right.
I think so. So you don't have to, buy his contract out. You just don't renew and go find you a good coach and a good GM to come and build your team, man, and let Dak rest and rehab and get ready for the off season because they're going to have to put some work in this off season.
So they do.
Sure. Yeah.
They do. Stevie, we've been saying it. It just the stories write themselves when it deals with the Cowboys. And the reason why we talk about the Cowboys almost all the time is because it means that much to so many people. If it meant that much to a lot more Houston Texans fans, we would talk about it. But I will say that meter's starting to rise for the Houston Texans. I'm going to get to the TikToking in the man cave. This is the holiday season, and this is when reporters have some fun with those holiday things. Anything, I trust me, I've been asked to go to some of those silly events, but they're fun, tied to Christmas. But this is good. This is when Christmas and live TV meet and ad-libbing. Those are a great marriage of things that I love.
Can take part in our morning of giving today. Our Leslie we got Leslie's name too, did we not?
Peaches Cookie Fingers.
Peaches Cookie Finger down in the parking lot.
That's your elf.
Okay, what?
Yeah,
is that my stripper name?
It's elf. Christmas elf.
Oh,
Christmas elf name.
Peaches Sticky Fingers?
Cookie Fingers.
Because Peaches Sticky Fingers is a better stripper name than elf name is what I'm thinking. Everything is fine. Everything is fine.
Oh, she said that on live TV.
I love it. That's people wonder, how do you get people to watch local TV more like they used to? That's what you do.
That's what you do. Peaches Sticky Fingers.
And that news anchor, she was nervous, so nervous. Just cut it loose, man. Those morning shows.
Yeah.
Cut it loose. Everybody's so uptight.
Yeah.
I love the industry.
The language of politics, the language of coaching, the language of ADs, and the language of anchors is dead. Just speak your mind.
Hey, man, tell me something good.
That's because Stevie's always a positive guy.
Yeah.
Stevie, do you want to go first?
You go first. You go first.
Well, this is something good that a result thing can be good if through awareness. We're all entitled to have our own opinions. We can vote for whoever we want to. You can go. That's the beauty of this country.
Mm-hmm.
You vote, and everybody did. Half the country voted for Donald Trump. Other half voted for whoever's on the left. It happened to be Kamala. And then voted for congressional members, senators, mayors, district attorneys, judicial branches.
Governors in some states.
But regardless of what side you're on, I'm a moderate dude, so I vote both sides. But one thing that I have zero tolerance for, and it's just my opinion, and I'm not attacking you, but why are certain people fascinated with tearing down a woman on social media and coming after women because you know that they're sensitive? It's a sensitive subject with reproductive rights.
Yeah.
I got so fed up with it. I saw it, and it's talking about I own your body, always will. I saw tweets like that.
Yeah, that's dumb.
And it's just, I know what people are doing, and it's to get a reaction. But that is one of the few things that triggers me in my life when you come after women and you hurt women, because there are women out there who are on social media who have had instances in their lives in which they have been assaulted, and wrongfully so.
Yeah.
No one deserves that, and no one deserves to jump on their social media and see all that. I know you can silence them, block them.
Yeah.
But we're just getting a little too free with putting stuff out there. And that's my gripe. But what is good, we can all learn from it. Just be better. Be better, man, and be respectful to women, regardless of how you feel. Because you all have a mom, probably have a sister, a bunch of females in your life. Just be respectful. That's all I can ask, man. It's where we need to be.
You're exactly right. And I'm going to piggyback off of that and just say what's good in this country right now is political season is over.
Thank you. Let's go.
I got tired of the ads running from both sides during my football game, during the World Series, during all the times that I want to be happy, and then all these negative ads come up. I was so sick and tired of it. So that's something good that is done.
Beautiful, actually.
America made its choice. We're going to live with the choice, and we're going to try to unite and follow the rule of law and keep pushing forward, man. And it sucks. We're going to have to do it all over again in 4 years. But for right now, let's unite. Political season is over. Everything. The Wednesday that VP Harris came out and conceded, that was the beginning of uniting these United States.
That's a good point.
Right
I
there.
didn't think about it that way. I like that.
That is the beginning, because what we do know is we're not going to have someone go and rush the Capitol on January 6th this year. We're not going. We're not, because she conceded, and everyone is okay with the results because it was a free and fair election this year, 2 years prior to that, and 2 years prior to that. It was always been a free and fair election in this country. It was just doubt put in people's minds that really gave us a black eye in this country. Really, it did.
I agree.
Yeah. So what's really something good is we had an election. We had a concession, and we had a congratulations call to the winner, and we can move forward now. You know what I mean? So no matter what your political stance is, what your religion stance is in America, and if you're an American, you are still an American today, no matter who won. You are going to be governed by whoever won, because we agreed to a democratic system here.
Right.
So, that's the good thing. It's all behind us now. Let's move forward. No matter who's winning, you're going to still donate to your charities and fight for your causes, no matter who won. So let's just continue to do that, you know,
and start to learn to love your brothers, your neighbors, all of us. And I'll say it like I did 4 years ago. Listen to learn.
Yeah. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason.
The best part that I love about this ending, man, regardless of color, race, religion, background, gender, man, we love you. We love you that you watch. Share this. We want you to come back. And that's the beauty of this. We're all in this big melting pot called America. And I love it. I love it that we are that way. And we're going to figure this out and just improve it It's okay to disagree, but it's not okay to not watch the pass rush with Stevie Lee. I'll tell you that. So follow our social media episodes. Follow Stevie on social. You can follow me. And be sure to share our content and give Hargrove Roofing a shout. And all of our sponsors, use them to give back to local business. And for the city of Shreveport, Louisiana, and the Hargrove family, the birthplace of the Stevie Lee and Philip Geiger, who was on last week, and to my college alma mater city, Nacogdoches, Texas, and my birthplace, Austin, Texas, and all of my family and friends around the area and the states and Oklahoma, Arkansas, all over this great country, and to the Stevie Lee family, much love, and to the OG Man Cave boys, that being Hardball Harge, Big Mike, and the Coach Mo. What do we tell them, Stevie Lee?
We out.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up.
I said get out.